Yo, what is happening? Welcome to day 5 of the Couch Doodles Live Inktober edition. I'm trying some new things. Hopefully you guys can let me know how the audio is going. I got this little doodad here to Yo. Oh, look at, I could hear myself. That's crazy. Happening? Welcome to day 5. Gotta turn that way down. There we go. That audio is even crazier. What up, Donnie? Yeah, dude, this is one of my favorite puzzles. This puzzle right here is, well, you can get them at Cracker Barrel. We got them, or is it Cracker Barrel? I remember seeing these at Polly's before. I've been able to get one left before. Most of the time it's like 2 or 3. I feel extra stupid when it's 7. You know, what up, No Name? What up, Paulus? Audio's good. Hello, Lewis. It's good to see you. That's great. That's great. Thanks, guys. That was Matt Yackey's suggestion to put better sound in, and I have these. I have these clips. I have another one that's good for interviews. I can do multiple people at the same time. Let's see. Let's change some lighting. What up, Audio Odyssey? No, man, I've got it. I got it dialed in. It's just I was being lazy. That's all it was. And Yackey suggested some lights, and there we go. So, or lights. Suggested better sound. I've had a full day. I'm 3 pages away from completing the layouts to Masters of the Multiverse number 3, written by Tim Seeley, inked by the amazing Richard Friend, and colored by the incomparable Matt Yackey. I'm going to say that today's brought to you by Terrapin Jazz Cabbage. See that? I don't know what jazz cabbage means. Giggity! I have no idea what jazz cabbage means. Do you guys know what jazz... I'm kidding. And then Jim Beam. We're doing it double. I like beer. I like bourbon. What up, Kevlar? So today's word is build. I had a couple of ideas, and I could say them, but then I end up seeing some people's out there, and I don't want to say anything is low-hanging fruit, because there are things that can be. But today is build, and like I said, I have some ideas. Tell Friend to get on that Blaster Kid. We're waiting. Is he doing a book called Blaster Kid? I know that's the name. That is a name he uses as a nickname. Will you have Rich Friend on as a guest interview? I bet he would do it. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I talked to him about that. I'm just trying to figure out some dynamics for this show. I want to make it awesome. I've got content. I've got 24 pre-recorded interviews with the same questions. But I'm also trying to figure out a nice system. I can do up to 9 cameras on this, and something that I was talking to Matt Yackey about is, well, you guys have seen movies like Anchorman or Broadcast News, and like the idea of what's happening with live TV, that there's somebody back there going, camera 1, go to camera 2, push in on camera 3, cut to whatever. There's somebody back there doing that stuff. And I'm talking to Matt Yackey about doing that. I have some really cool equipment. I've got an Osmo Mobile and an Osmo Pocket to do some stuff, but the reason I bring it up is I want to be able to do some live from sort of features. So like live from East Coast Comic Con, and then I can get a guest on and we can turn it into a live event and have some fun that way and make it feel like you're there if you can't be there. Like a lot of people are in New York right now. I am not. I'm a deadline man, and that's what I focus on, and getting this stuff done. What up, Simon? How are you, sir? I will say what's up to Yackey for sure. Sometimes he comes in, sometimes he joins us, which is always a wonderful thing. Hopefully this lighting, there we go. Let's bring that down. Got a little bit of glare. Let's jump in. He posted a couple of sneak peek bits. Yeah, man. I think posting sneaks is good. Sneaks could be a good thing. Get people wondering and doing what you're doing. You're like, get it out. Let's see it. So you're excited by the sneak peeks. I think when Black Flag is rolling, I'll be doing that. Yeah, I wonder too, where are these sneak peeks? Because I love to see it. I love Rich's stuff. I love everything he does. I hear somebody trying to text me. Let me check my texts. Hold on. This is a text from a dear friend who I haven't talked to in a while. Sorry, guys. All right, let's get into this. I can't wait for the return of Black Flag as well. I'm very stoked to be doing it. All right, let's jump in. Sorry about that interruption. Today's pens, because people ask about them technical things. One of the pens I feel really comfortable working with, sketching with, is one called the Pilot Fineliner. I buy them by the dozen. I buy a box of them because the tips don't go bad fast, but they eventually do go bad. This is a different pen. This one's a little duller, but I know what kind of result I'll get out of both, which is really at the end of the day what you want. And then this is a Pentel Touch. It's one of those flexible markers. Simon, your question, will the original series be made available with it? Are you asking about Black Flag? Because if you're asking about Black Flag, the answer to that is I don't know. What I would have to end up doing probably is scanning a good copy of the book. That way I also have some ash cans that are high res that I could scan for some black and white stuff. And I know a few people that have some of the original art, but to get like a really spot on clean reproduction be very difficult because it was done 25 years ago, and a lot of the stuff was held on zip drives, floppy drives, that sort of thing. So getting those files are tough. I still have like a lot of my Gear Station files, which is good. But Black Flag, I would have to do some rescanning. All right, let's get into the idea of build. So in my mind, I know I'm gonna mention some of my ideas, and I said I wouldn't, but I'm gonna anyway. In my mind, I imagine like something made up of a bunch of cubes and shapes that were culminating into something. And then there was, a construction site where they were working, and Godzilla knocked it down, so they have to rebuild. But I didn't feel like drawing any of that stuff. I felt like today is the day that I wanted to draw some like robotics. So I think build is going to come from that sort of idea, like the idea of a robot building a robot. So hopefully you guys will enjoy. Once again, if you can hear the music in the background, I know it's not incredibly loud, but it won't throw any flags for our copyright police, because all this music is 100% frega-boom. Wrote it all myself. So no swipesies, no samples, 100%. All right, let's go. So again, the first thing I try to think of when I'm doing a sketch, because right now I have the concept, and in my head there's about 5 different ways I can shoot it. And as I'm imagining different ones, I'm going, okay, where's my vanishing point? Where's my point of view? Am I looking up? Am I looking down? Am I looking straight in? in this particular case, I think I want to do kind of an ode to like Akira or All Is Full of Love. You guys remember that video by Bjork? And the director, I love his stuff, but his name is like totally escaping me. He does like Aphex Twin, and a lot of Bjork stuff. And I want to say Chris, but damn, my brain isn't picturing words. It's picturing shapes and ideas. Okay, so let's see. This is the top. This is the top. This is the bottom. These are the sides. Okay. I have to do this because the paper is bigger than the camera, and I don't want to go out of your view. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to start drawing this wire, this cable wire that's plugged into this. What up, Brian Jameson, sir? Good to see you. I am a big fan of Logic. I like Logic, and I have a few paid add-ons. So I've got the Complete, I've got Track God, I've got Omnisphere, a couple of things like that. I also will, on occasion, patch Reason into it, but Logic. Chris Cunningham, thank you. I knew it was Chris. Yes. What did I have for dinner, and how much this affect of your choice for art tonight? I didn't have dinner tonight. We went to this place called Cheeky's, and I got some pork belly tacos, and it was enough for me. And then I got back to work, and by the time it was dinner time, and I was close to finishing, I realized that I didn't feel like eating, so I didn't have dinner today, unless you want to call my lunch dinner. So then I had an early one. Let's see. I want to switch up pens. I think I'm gonna do that because there's something going on, and I don't know if it was because this paper got wet or what, but it's really sort of affecting the bleed on it. So I'm either gonna change the pen entirely or go for another something. Apologies, guys. All right, this is a Pentel Stilo or Stylo, whatever. These are fun too. Yeah, I can go a little faster with this. Okay, so what I'm thinking about right now is some of it's what I do when I do tech, and how I try to make it functional looking, and not just a bunch of BS, even though a lot of times a bunch of BS looks amazing, a la Kirby. You know, Kirby's stuff always looked insane in big shapes, but you could never guess how it worked. But he does do the best Tekken of all time because it's 100% unique. When I do tech, I try to imagine, like, what would this be, this part of this building arm? Would it be functional part of its brain, a processor, stabilizer, you know, that sort of thing. I'm thinking about that. My dad worked at a shop when I was growing up. They fixed like police radios and all the communication equipment, down to like satellite receivers and things like that. So I was always seeing really cool looking stuff as a kid. No Name asks, do I usually draw while listening to something? Yeah, actually I do. There's a couple of playlists that I go to. You know, the psyche of people and artists in general can be not predictable, but almost programmable. Like if there's music that always makes you feel good, or like the other day I posted about like power clothes, the idea of a shirt or something that every time you wear it, you feel like you're going to have a good day. Well, there's a couple of playlists that I have on Spotify. And if you guys are on Spotify, you can just search for me by my name. But there's one called, oh man, you brought up solder. Hell yeah, dude. And the way it would, like that what is that stuff they squirt on it while they're doing it? I forget. It's been so long, but yeah, there'd be like that solder and that sort of sour, I don't know, it wasn't vinegar, it was something. But yeah, solder was crazy. The playlist I have that I go to often is called 1989, and it's like one of my favorite years. I've talked about it before, but 1989 is one of my favorite years. What up, Rooster Puncher? How are you, Spence? It's good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us today. Please give your, if you want to, give your credentials, because I want people to see your stuff. So, Flux, thank you. Flux, boy! That's right, Flux! See, it's been a long time. The last time I was in my dad's shop, and I mean, he's retired now, but the last time I actually got to smell Flux was probably 30 years ago. It's been a long time. But what do you call it? Yeah, Flux, man. Flux and that sort of mineral oil smell. But yeah, man. So going back to the whole sort of like setting, almost like setting the mood, so to speak. There are playlists that I have. Like, for example, The Grave, the comic I drew, it was basically a web comic or whatever. But when I drew that every night, I had two playlists that I listened to. One was by Miles Davis, and it's on Spotify too. It's called Miles of Miles, and it starts off with a song called Springville. And then Michael Jackson put out an album in 2014 during when I was working on The Grave called Escape. And I'm a fan of Michael Jackson's music and his performing. Not a fan of if those allegations are true, but still a huge fan of what he's done. But now I use a playlist called 1989, and it's got basically a bunch of music from 89. And like I was saying, 89 was a fun year for me because it's I had a comic strip in my local newspaper. I also had a live TV show every Wednesday that was about comics. It's the year I met Liefeld, and let's see, just a bunch of stuff. Like the music of those times is really what like when I hear Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, I remember at the time, especially, that's like because I had just met some professional comic artists. I was not just hungry, but I was hyper hungry, like hyper hungry. And those were the songs that were on the radio, like Milli Vanilli's "Girl, You Know It's True," DOC's "Funky Enough," like I said, Janet Jackson's album. Oh man, Audio Odyssey popping out the Martinez News Gazette. That's awesome, dude. You know the references. But yeah, so that, again, the long-winded answer to do I listen to stuff? Yeah, that I'll listen to that. And sometimes if that's not what is the doctor ordered, and usually it is, I have a lot of audiobooks I listen to. And I started getting into audiobooks when I was commuting to Mattel every day. My drive was at least an hour and a half each way. So I knew that I'd be in for 3 hours in my car. And that's why sometimes I was doing daily freestyles. Not because, I'm going to be the greatest MC in the world. you just get to a point after a few years where you gotta like invent things to make the time pass. But I'm an avid fan of using time, and I've talked about this before on these live sessions. But like, the phrase "killing two birds with one stone." I try to think of things this way: what if your stone is a hand grenade, right? How many birds can you kill with that stone? What can you do? What can you do with the thing you're doing? So, like, for example, the freestyle thing was a way for me to get inside my head and process in a way which I call time travel, and time travel, but in essence it is, right? So what time travel is, the concept of it in the context of what I'm talking about, is the idea of jumping ahead in time and seeing something and bringing it back to the present, right? So like some of these drawings, like I see the future of this drawing, and hopefully it comes out the way I see it and we have enough time for it. But I went into the future in my mind, I saw the picture, and now I'm back in the past and conveying what I saw. So by that concept, freestyling is the same thing. You know, I'm thinking about words maybe about 5-10 seconds ahead of what you're actually hearing. You know, I call it also putting the track down as the train goes. You know, you got to know a little bit of where you're going to get there. But that's what I ended up doing. But then there were audiobooks, and sadly I don't listen to a lot of fiction, but I do listen to a lot of books on creativity, books on marketing, books on how the brain works. A lot of socioeconomics, like why, things like why things catch on. Like I was I'm a big fan of Malcolm Gladwell. And Malcolm Gladwell, he has a few really good books. The concepts are great. They're slightly outdated, and not because of anything that Malcolm Gladwell did. It's just the world since he wrote those things have changed. Like, this is something kind of incredible to think about. Here we are, it's 2019, and the idea of a smartphone is very commonplace, right? The idea of having the world in your pocket is very commonplace. I can look up cat videos, I can look up, I can go to comic book websites to take a look at a picture or go wherever. But, thinking about that, the iPhone came out in 2008, right? And that was only 11 years ago, and 11 years before that, was 97. So not a lot changed between 97 and 2008, but a lot has changed between 2008 and 2019 in regard to our society, how we function, how we process information, what we take as truth, what and people, and also, like I said, a lot of the books I read, one of the reasons I read them is to kind of be informed on how that, for lack of a better phrase, how that manipulation works for a few reasons. And one of the important ones is to kind of have a sensitivity to when it's happening. So if you're being played, that sort of idea. But then the other thing too, and not that they're playing you, because here the simple fact is that we have human nature, and once you have somebody's attention, let's just put it this way: there's something called programming, like on television, and you might have heard someone else say this, but it's true. It's called programming for a reason, right? Not trying to get into like any conspiracy stuff, but proven fact is that people can be swayed. Like watch shows like Brain Games with Jason Silva. there's a lot of things going on out there. So anyway, I'm totally digressing, but I read books on that stuff. Also to help, like I said, one of the things is to be tuned to it, but also to use those things and use them in a way for good, and not try to manipulate people to be one way or another, but to, if you have something good to say, guide them that way, And like for me, the good to say I have is mostly encouragement, and letting some of the pitfalls that I've gone through in my career. And at the time, I'll tell you what, I didn't like when they happened, but now here it is in hindsight. They're wonderful examples and real functional lessons that I know are very universal as far as pitfalls or things that people can fall into, and to be able to help somebody avoid those things, artistically, professionally, those sort of things. If I can be there to do that, then that's great. Because there's different levels. Last night we got asked about breaking into the comic industry, and there's breaking in and there's staying in, and it's and those rules are changing too. Which is kind of incredible. It's kind of insane to me that there's this sort of I don't know. It's just a different landscape than it was, and that's why I'm highly recommending that people want to do comics, just make comics, just make them. I know there's that dream of like, oh, I want this to be my income or whatever, and that's definitely the way to go about it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna continue on that, but I'm gonna show you something that I'm gonna do, because I'm doing something that's a little wider than I'm used to doing, and it's the Jungi can do it. Like the periphery is so freaking wide, it's insane. And my periphery is usually like a cone of vision. I don't turn my cone too much, but this one is kind of widened out on the edges. So I'm gonna create a cheat, right? I'm gonna pretend that the thing is on rollers like this. So I'm gonna start the rollers like this, but I'm gonna use these rollers. You're gonna see that I'm gonna use them also as a guide for the what I'm about to put on it. So a lot of guys out there that I enjoy. If you guys get a chance to check out guys like Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him, or I'm not even sure if I'm saying Tom's name right. Tom Bilyeu. He's really great. There's a guy named Jim Quick with a K, who really works on improving brain performance. So I was kind of at an impasse whether or not I would talk about some of the stuff that's in my head to talk about. And one of the things, because it's going to sound like weird mojo stuff, or I don't know, like a nut or whatever, but all I can really say is that these things work for me. So back in 2003, my mom, I hadn't seen her in a while, and she had lost a bunch of weight. You know, she looked great. And I asked her, and also she just seemed a little more peppy and a little more, I don't know, alive, younger. What up, Aloria? Hopefully I said that right. So I said to my mom, I said, yo, what's going on? You look great. What's happening? And she told me about this coffee that she was drinking. And it goes by a bunch of different names. One of them is Ling Chi. One of them is Rishi. Scientific name for it is Ganoderma. Anyway, it's this coffee, and it's a mushroom, right? And this mushroom kind of attaches to some of the bad things inside you and gets them out of your body. And, you know, she told me like the first couple of weeks that my sweat would be smelly, you know, extra BO, but it just means that the stuff is working. Anyway, I've drank Ganoderma coffee now for 16 years, and I'll tell you, man, I feel like a lot of the extra that I have in myself comes from that. But again, this could all just be craziness. Have you ever been accidentally inspired and created something that seems similar to someone else's work? Sure. In fact, the night that we did bait, two other people, like friends of mine even, and people I follow on Instagram, they're like, oh, mine was the same. And they, you know, and it was an angler fish, a diver, that sort of thing. And you know, when it comes to something like that, I think it's because ideas are universal. The human condition is we're human. We've been human for however many years it may be, and there are only so many experiences and so many ways to process those experiences. You know, I don't know if you guys are fans of. There's a guy named Michel Gondry. I don't know if you guys are fans of his, but he was talking about what makes an idea, right? What makes an idea? And he says ideas come from taking two concepts and creating a new thing out of it, right? Almost like cooking or a combination. So, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you know, that sort of thing. So eventually what happens is, because we're all human and we're dealing with the human condition, we, especially when you're given something like, what do you call it, Inktober, and you have prompt words and they're, you know, shared prompt words, that's when you especially jump into the idea of shared humanity. Because what does the word bait mean? You know what I mean? Like for me, when I did bait, when I ran it in my brain, part of me, like my dirty old man brain was like, oh yeah, draw a streetwalker with, you know, cops behind him, you know, but the person she's meeting is like this giant thug or whatever. She's the bait, right? There's worm on a hook. There's all these things, and like I was saying earlier, there's like, obviously there's low-hanging fruit, and then there's also artistic vectors that you can take. Somebody asked me on Instagram this morning, they asked me, because they sent me some of their really cool creatures that they had drawn, and their question for me was how do how can I get better at drawing creatures, right? And I said, go look at a bunch of animals and insects. And they're like, really? Thanks, with like a question mark, you know? And I said, yeah, because like, you know, if you think of something with like a snake's scales and an eagle's claws, but like a body sort of structure like a praying mantis, but like you mess around with the proportions, well, that's blending. And pretty much everything, let's just call it everything in this entire world a remix. You know what I mean? So yeah, again, I'm the guy that's making long answers, but hopefully they make sense to you. The danger of coming up with something that's similar to what someone else did, yeah, I mean, a lot of times you can chalk it up to like the human condition. Then there's just like utter laziness. You know, on Facebook, I'm a member of a Facebook group called Comic Swipes, and that's where people post like people just out and out swiping poses and, you know, compositions and essentially like tracing. That's a whole different thing. But, you know, if someone said, you know, the prompt word, and I don't know if there's one this year, but the prompt word is charge, right? And like some people draw electricity, some people draw a person on a horse, some people draw credit cards, some people draw you know, negatively charged neurons, or you know, whatever. But what ends up happening is, there you go, there's sort of 8 standout selections. Then there's the angle at which that you're gonna do it, and some people want to be clever. I'm one of those people that likes to be clever, and you know, you put a little bit of a slant on it, you know. So yeah, that's why similar things happen. Oh yeah, dude, lion's mane capsules. That's funny you mentioned that, because after the whole mushroom thing, I did a lot of research on some mushrooms, and there's a really good mushroom company that has those, and I literally just got some lion's mane. What up, D? Glad to help, my friend. What up, Mr. Milton? Mr. Milton's in the building. That's my dude, Mike from Denver. I've known Mike, was that since 96, man? Is that when we first met? Was it 96? I think it feels right. 96 feels right. Maybe it was 98, but 96 for me, for some reason, feels like the right year. That's my dude. And if you guys ever need, hey, Mr. Milton, I'm going to ask you first, can I mention your services? Because I think it would be a good thing. '98. Okay, it was '98. Yeah, let me know if I can bring it up, because I think you bring value doing what you do. Okay, Wizard World Chicago. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, thinking about those days. Oh, okay, good. All right. So, comic book colorists have incredible workloads, right? And they have to color sometimes as many as 5 books a month. Some guys are doing even more. But part of that process, and part of the coloring process for anybody who does this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called flatting, and it's isolating color groups and major blocks of color that need to be modeled or filtered or lit or whatever. And it's a process that can be done really terribly, and it's a process that can be done meticulously well. Mr. Milton here does that. He offers that service of doing flat colors to assist colorists in getting their jobs done in a more efficient manner. His selections are always clean. He does sometimes even approximate color choices, which are great. So I don't know. You guys reach out to him if you guys are coloring things and need some help. And his rates are very, very reasonable. So if you get a chance, check him out. Well, Mr. Mobus, you said it. Yeah, flatting is tedious, but some people dig it, you know. Audio Odyssey. If you're saying 79, 79, man, that's Concord Christian Center days. Unless you lived in my neighborhood. You gotta give me a hint. Did we go to Pacheco Elementary together, or did we go to Concord Christian Center together? Sorry, I'm getting all quiet. I'm trying to get this articulation on this arm to be building a piece of the robot. You lived in my house. Oh my God, bro. You're my brother. I didn't know that's your name, man. Audio Odyssey. You're awesome, bro. This is my first little brother. I have 4 brothers. This is my brother David. Audio Odyssey is my brother. See, I'm like 79. Who are the people that I knew? I'm like, it's not Scott Kirby. I met Scott Kirby in 75. And I'm like running things through my head. 79, of course, that's when you were brought into this world. Amazing. Yeah. In fact, when some of the songs come on, from the demo, because Quest is on here, so is anyway, that whole demo's on here, so he did some MCing on this. Hold on a second, I gotta answer my buddy's text real quick. I'm telling him to join in. This guy, his name is Steve Patrick, and he was the guy who wrote all the situations in the Ricky Gervais show. He's executive producer and head writer of the situations. One of the funniest dudes I've ever met. Dude is awesome. Drawn Sword Graphics. Show us those splat photocopies sometimes that you gave a peek a while back at a live show. I'm looking at them right now. In fact, I'm gonna show you guys. Let's take a little side break from the build robot, and let me see if I can add this camera in. Okay, hold on a second. We're gonna take a little trip as soon as this lets me add you in. Boom. It'll say allow automatically. Make sure it's working. It's on and working. Boom, you're in. See, here's that camera. There's you guys, so I can see your chats. There's that camera. And see, right here, where Batman and Cloak and Dagger are chilling, these are photocopies, first generation photocopies of a lot of stuff. You probably saw some Jim Lee in there. That's some Mignola, Michael Golden, some Adam Hughes, and splats in here. So yeah, one day we'll do that. I'm gonna take this camera out. Boom. Back to that one. But Drawn Sword Graphics, I will. And I'm sorry today is not that day. I apologize. I don't mean to be a tease. It's just I gotta get this drawing done. We're at 47 minutes right now, so if I can get this bad boy all hooked up and done, then in time is what I mean. Done and in time. All right. So I'm thinking about again, like I said, I put these rollers in, and these are kind of my cheats, right? You guys, one of the things I talk about as far as method, because I get asked a lot about method, like how are you able to do that, and how much of it do you see in your head, and those sort of questions, and some of the answers are cut and dry, and some of them are not so easy, right? So for example, the days where it's not as oh dude, yeah, I'll definitely send them to you, David, for sure. I got them from the DATs, so they're clean. But the days where things aren't necessarily flowing super clean, I do something what I call the jigsaw method, the jigsaw puzzle edge piece method, and the way that is like you let things inform other things, right? And what I mean by that is, like, if you've ever put a jigsaw puzzle together, and you know putting together the edge pieces creates the frame, and now you have some reference to run against, like especially if you're looking at the cover of the box and that sort of thing, because now you go, okay, I've got this, and if I find this, and the more you fill the puzzle up, the more informed the puzzle gets, and more informing the puzzle gets. So for me, by putting these marks in, which are going to this vanishing point, I have this as a marker now that I can really kind of isolate. Like I said, my brain sort of searches along the image. I see a hole, but sometimes if I focus too long on this stuff fuzzes out. And then, but this way, this is kind of like a marker or a beacon of that information for me, that the perspective on this is going that way. Am I still doing that New Hampshire Halloween con with Tucci? You damn right I am. I'm very excited to be doing that. That's my buddy Randy. That's his show, and I get to see all my dudes. I get to see Christian. I get to see Randy, Ben. They're lovely families, and then also I get to hang out with Frank Thierry and Tucci and Jimmy and Amanda. You know, I haven't got to hang out with those guys in like a long time, like since I was in my 30s, really, and I'm 46. You know, that'll say a lot. I've seen them, but I haven't really been able to hang out with them. Let's just put it that way. This is the only one of I mentioned this the other night. This is the only one of my songs in here that has any samples, because I really loved that bass line. I loved it lots. That Jerry is a bastard. I only mess with Billy. I've only heard bad things about Jerry. I heard he's a shin kicker. I'll see what I can do, man. I do still have the DAT somewhere. So yeah, I'll see what I can do about getting you the DAT. I mean, I have the SEPs too. I think I ended up exporting those once I got them isolated. My buddy Mark hooked me up and transposed those over to MP3. There we go. Well, that's cool, man. How long will it take you to get there, Rooster Puncher? Like how far? I don't my East Coast geography and like how long things take is very poor. But it would be cool if you can make it, man. It'd be good to hang out. I'll tell you guys a funny story. I realize it's like I'm being all silent and stuff. I'm going to tell you something that I used to do. And this is like how you know I was a weird dude as a kid. Even as a young professional, I was a weird dude. So when I would meet professional artists, and this is like from the age of 14 to even after I broke in. I think I stopped a couple years after I became a pro, but what I would do is I would ask them for their autograph, and they'd break out a Sharpie, or like what was really popular back then was the metallic pen, and I'd say no, can you sign it with this, and I'd give them my my pencil, my lead holder that I would draw with, and I'd have them sign it in pencil, right? So what I was doing is I was out there like collecting their collecting their artistic energy into my pencil, so that I knew that like this pencil was used by Jim Lee, Mike Mignola, Will Spertasio, Mark Silvestri, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, tons of guys, and that was something I used to do, and it was it's a weird thing. I would say it's definitely a strange thing to do, and here I am several decades later thinking about it and laughing. But yeah, it was weird. I was a weird kid. But you know, imagination is a powerful thing. That's right. Akuma got it right. And welcome, Akuma. Welcome. You asked if I like to drink, Spencer. I think that might have been it. And the answer is yes. Yes, I do. And I think it comes from my mom's side of the family. The Andermars. They don't last long. Some of them do. Some of them do. Hopefully I have that mutant ability to last long. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys being here. You guys make it worth it. Whether, you know, whether or not I'm entertaining what I'm working on, and hopefully I'll be more successful at it as I go, is the being able to talk and draw, have a way to fill up the air with something other than bullshit. That's probably one of the main reasons I think I enjoy when people ask questions, is because it gives me something to talk about and something to think about. Otherwise, what ends up happening is I end up getting super duper lost in the drawing, because a lot of, you know, all the times you've seen me do these time lapses on Instagram is just me and other music. I don't usually listen to my own. Yeah, Rooster Puncher. I do. I like to party. I'm a lightweight versus what I used to be like in my 20s. But I enjoy whiskey. I enjoy fine libation and God's other inventions, creatures, plants, those sort of things. I'm a big fan. There we go. But yeah, usually, like I said, I have a playlist called 1989, and if you guys are on Spotify, try to find me and get that list. It's a fun one. It lasts a lot of the day. I don't know. Drawn Sword asks, "Do I like Juliet's work?" And I'm kind of embarrassed because I don't know who that is. You know, that's the thing is if you have a link, I would love to check it out. Like if you pop a link in the comments or something, that would be dope, because I love seeing new stuff. Like one of the things I really enjoy doing, especially like when I'm warming up in the morning with my mushroom coffee and just checking things out, is I go on Pinterest, and you know, I'll look at stuff, and Pinterest is great at throwing things at me that I've never seen before. You say you want to party with art like as you mean a person named Art, or do you mean like drawing and partying? What do you mean? Because it's one of those things. Well, I love Mobius. I'm seeing Drawn Sword talking about Mobius. I love Mobius. I just didn't know Juliet. I have to take a look. That would, I mean, the French are amazing. Europeans are amazing. You know, I get introduced to a lot of European work. My buddy Dennis showed me some stuff I'd never even seen before. Guy named Breccia, Italian guy, really great. Just the stuff he does with light and shadow blew my mind. Art to bear, that would be interesting. I love art. I've known Art for 20-something years. He used to be part of Extreme and inked some of my favorite stuff back in the day. I really like what he did with Wills, obviously. Stuff he inked over Rob was really great. What up, Art? You're here. My goodness, what's up, dude? I'm all singing your praises and I didn't even know you were here. I got your stuff on my spinner rack, man. They're like sitting right there. I was just about to say some of my favorite stuff that you had done is when you would pitch in on New Mutants pages. There were a couple that you had inked over Rob with Jubilee. And I remember this is back when I was talking to Rob. I was like a kid, 16, 17 years old, and he would send me some advanced stuff. It was like, you know, having Facebook but on a fax. But I remember him sending those over in particular and just being blown away. But as far as partying, Art, I don't think I've ever partied with you. I don't ever recall any partying. I remember some shenanigans, but the studio was always full of crazy shenanigans. That was guaranteed shenanigans would happen, and it was symptomatic of a lot of things. You know, if you take we were all young. If you take that we were all on some sort of crazy deadline, thought I was gonna say on drugs, but we weren't. That's the funny thing. There was not a lot of drugs, maybe some weed, but not a lot of any bad drugs present at Extreme. That's something that I'm very happy to say. Oh, that's funny. Kiss. Yeah. But no, what I was going to say in regard to the shenanigans at Extreme, outside of the fact that we were all young, we were all making comics, we were all kind of rats in a cage with deadlines, is that everybody was a personality of sorts, you know? Everybody was funny, everybody had a point of view, there was a lot of common ground as far as our interests and like what got us there. But then the shenanigans came from the concept of just one-upsmanship. If somebody can make somebody laugh, we wanted to keep the party going. You know, more laugh would be the route that we'd want to take. In fact, I'll tell you a story that I was personally involved in, since I'm telling like the dumb things that I did as a kid. So we had this guy, really cool dude, still friends with him, the guy named George McCarthy. And George was the face of Paul Scott when you would look up, you know, Paul Scott as an inker, but Paul Scott was really Rob, and George was like the face. But George did a lot of stuff at the studio that was incredibly helpful. Like he would spot blacks for inkers, and he would transfer pages, like if you did small layouts, and needed them sort of blown up to full size. I mean, this is back in the day where a lot more was done by hand. George was your guy. So somebody had got a stun gun, one of those zapper things, and we were talking all kinds of stuff in the bullpen about its strength and whatever, and George had said something about like those things. I bet you I got zapped by one something. I don't remember what the exact thing was that he had said, but they said, if you think that, let's see you get zapped by it. So they said, if I'm gonna get zapped by that thing, you guys are gonna pay me. You guys are gonna pay me to do it. And before he was even done with the words me, he had like, I don't know, probably about $50 on his desk. Like literally, like people are like, here's my money. And this is like 1993 or whatever, so there's no YouTube, entertainment. You get your entertainment how you can get it, and this is entertainment. So, money came out, and he kind of waffled a little. Yeah, maybe it's dangerous. And then here's where my dumbass comes in, not wanting for the party to stop, so to speak. I said, man, I'll do that shit for $20. $20 were shown to me very quickly. So then we had to pick who would do the shocking. And I picked Byron Tallman, who goes by the name of Snakebite, if you guys are following him on YouTube. Anyhow, I picked Byron because I trust Byron. And Matt Hawkins of Top Cow, who used to be Matt Hawkins of Extreme Studios, said, hold up, you can't do that. If Dan dies, his family can sue Rob, and we're not going to have that. I was like, in my back of my head, I'm like, I'm saved. Because, I didn't want to do it, but I also didn't want to back down. So they're like, let's just go out and do it in the hallway where it's not Rob's property. It's the property of the, whatever. We're done. We're coming up with like legal justification, and none of us is a lawyer. So anyway, we go out to the hallway, and they zap. Byron zaps me, and drops me. Like I shit or piss my pants. But I did not have control of what my legs were doing. They just stopped. I went down, and the physical pain sensation of what it feels like. If you ever been snapped by a rubber band, I don't know if you guys have been snapped by a rubber band. I think it's kind of a rite of passage or something, right? Getting snapped by a rubber band. It felt like that, like someone snap on my side. That's what the physical pain felt like, but the effect itself was just the inability. Where's the nearest we can potentially kill this guy legally? Exactly, right? But yeah, I was like, oh shit, these things are legit. And in the story, man, nobody paid me. Like that's how bullshit some things can be. But nobody paid me. I didn't get paid. They all took their money back. I think they wanted me to die, or wanted something more than just seeing me fall to my knees and kind of fall over. Maybe they wanted to see like sparks come out of my head, or like shit you see in movies where the person like, you know, and like electricity firing out. I don't know what people expected, but I didn't get paid, man. I didn't get paid. But yeah, there were all kinds of things. People would spelunk from the top of the building. And what's funny is a lot of these memories, I have to give some extra love and respect to Ed Piskor. He came to Anaheim for WonderCon a couple years ago, and he was I forget how it happened. He had mentioned maybe something that like his dream would be to go to Extreme Studios, the one that was on Catella, you know. And I love Ed, man. And I saw that shit and I was like, bro, let me be your like I wish we would have like recorded this too. And maybe I'll do this one day next time I go back to LA. But I gave him the Extreme Super Tour. And what I did is I took him to Rob's first studio on Berry Street, which was the one that they mimicked in the Levi's ad. Then I took him to our second one, which was on Nutwood. And also, by the way, that the Berry Street studio is where the CNN image announcement happened, right? So I took him to that one. Then I took him to the one on Nutwood, which is the very first time image offices happened, was the one on Nutwood. So I took him to the Nutwood one. Then I took him to the one on Catella, which is sort of the one that people remember the most. It was on the most TV shows and the Wizard magazine and those sort of things. So I could see why Ed wanted to go to it. Let me put some crazy leg things here. Burp. This is not calm incomplete. But he was great because he was asking me questions, you know, things that I had forgotten about. You know, like we used to do things like the Angel Stadium used to also host the Rams before they went to St. Louis, and I think they're back somewhere now. I'm not a sporty guy, but we used to like go under the fence and just go over and check a game out and buy the cheap seats, and like that was something we did. Like, and like, oh hey, we want to procrastinate and not focus on our deadline. Let's go watch the Rams play, or let's go watch the Angels play, or whatever, you know. So that it just, like I said, it sparked a lot of fun memories thinking about that. All right, I'm gonna put some other stuff in here. Oh God, Chuck. I love Chuck. I haven't seen Chuck or talked to Chuck in probably 20 years. I miss him. He was a fantastic dude. And yeah, attitude adjustment. That was our code for smoking weed. You know, there were a few guys that would smoke. I like Rooster Puncher. You're very optimistic in the idea that deadlines were met. A lot of times people would go to games to avoid deadlines. But yeah, I mean, those are good times. I mean, it's like Camelot. You guys lived the Stand By Me of comics. We kind of did, man. You know, like I was saying, the world's a different place now because of the cell phones, and you know, and there's a lot of really great things. Like the thing that I find really just exciting and fun about the technology we have is that a lot of the ideas I had even, 10, 15 years ago, weren't possible without like a lot of money and a crew and that sort of thing. The fact that we, like, just using YouTube live as an example, the fact that I can do this with a couple of phones, and be talking to you guys and interacting with you guys is pretty amazing. And the fact that you can make content with something in your pocket that 10 years ago would have taken an expensive camera, some After Effects, a lot of R&D, a lot of process, and a lot of trial and error. That's the part that's pretty crazy, is the trial and error. Like praying to God that you got a good key, praying to God that your stuff will comp in, and not finding that out for a couple of days if you're lucky, and now you can do it in the matter of seconds. And that, to me, that's incredible. Yeah, cartoonist kayfabe is awesome. Very, 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 very awesome. I wish I had more time to watch their stuff. There's some really good ideas there. Like sometimes, like you were saying, they go through the wizard, right? And they have their commentary on it. Sometimes I feel like I want to do that with comics. Some of my favorite books, that sort of thing. I'm not sure. I also don't want to hurt any feelings, because a lot of guys I know. So why would I review shit I don't like? Let's put it that way. So we're good. We're good. Chauncey, what's up, man? Good to see you. You've made 100% of the shows, man. That is amazing. Thank you. You can tell we're getting into the final stretch of this concept of build. Hopefully you guys have been entertained. I didn't show you guys as much other stuff as I did yesterday, but hey, you know what? Maybe I'll make somebody's wish come true. Let's do that. Let's see some cool shit. In fact, I might even have some of your old stuff, bro. And in fact, I'm fairly certain I do. Not originals, but like really close to first generation photocopies of pencils and inks. Let's sign this up. 10, 5, 1, 9, build. All right. Yeah, Chauncey, you know what? Since you're here, I was going to sign off because we're at 1:20, but I'm going to add a little extra, man, because that's just love, bro. Seriously, thank you for coming. Let me grab the stack of fun. Okay, let's call it the stack of fun. I won't go through all of it today because gotta save some for later, right? Save it. All right, so that's Cosmic Odyssey. No, I think some of those full-size ones that I was talking about, I don't have in here. The Art to Bear stuff. I think that might still be in my garage, but I know there's some art in here. Bazinga! Come on now. I'm fairly certain that is Mr. T-Bear. Correct me if I'm wrong, man. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain that is the jam right there. I'll show you guys something pretty fantastic. I've showed this before, but this is like a really crazy story, right? Check this out. To Rob Liefeld, first class, love Mikey. We all know who Rob Liefeld is, but who is Mikey? Mikey is Mike Carlin, amazing, first class, like this says, first class editor. Guy knows talent. He knows good stuff. Incredible gentleman. Throws a wonderful barbecue. So he used to be Rob's editor on Hawk and Dove. And during that time, there was a book being drawn by Mike Mignola. And it was called Cosmic Odyssey. And it was written by Jim Starlin. And forgive me for forgetting the inker's name. And I got one of the world's greatest inkers of all time on here, and I'm forgetting an inker's name. I think it's Marzon or something like that. Anyhow, really good editors. Guys like Bob Harris, Carl Potts, Archie Goodwin, Mark Grunwald, Mike Carlin. They shepherded their talent. They weren't just guys that kept the train on time. They would also say, hey, I noticed you're adding some shading in your stuff. You might want to check this out. And they would give them photocopies. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Cosmic Odyssey pencils. Straight from the photocopier. And these are Mignola. That one's torn, which breaks my heart. But these are first generation photocopies of Cosmic Odyssey that were sent to Rob Liefeld as sort of a like, check this out. I think you would enjoy this stuff. It's got, you know, great gestures and stuff. And this is when Rob was first starting his career back in '86 or so. So these are what the pencils look like. Now, there might be a question lingering in the air of how the hell did you get these? Well, I used to live with Rob and I stole them. No, I'm kidding. So I used to live with Rob, and there were a few occasions where I helped him clean his garage. And during those garage cleaning sessions, he would just throw stuff out. And one of the things he would throw out would be just tons of photocopies. Oh, I've got that already, or, you know, whatever it may be. That happened to fly into the dumpster, and I said, hey, bro. He said, keep it. So I kept it. Speaking of Rob Liefeld, check this shit out. Boom. How many people do you know have first generation photocopies? Not only are they first generation, but you'll notice the back of this, that this is Sharpie ink. What Rob used to do is make photocopies of his pencils and go through and find panels to put bold black around. And this was that particular set of photocopies. And this ended up in the trash can as well. But I am kind of a art historian nut. You know, there's guys that do that for Disney. A guy named Andreas Dehaas does that for Disney guys. And here we go. First appearance of Cable. Look at that. These are the pencils. And Rob's pencils, man. I love his work now, but I have a super soft spot for this stuff. And again, it goes back because '89 is my favorite year, but I have a real super soft spot for this stuff. And you can see here he is with marker filling this stuff in with markers, just to see how the blacks would set in, just to know, you know, the balance of the page, which is really important. So that, and here's something not a lot of people have seen. Check this out. That is New Mutants trade dress. Attention, Bob Harris. A Cougar cometh. Cougar never made it into New Mutants. Cougar, in fact, made it into Youngblood. Isn't that cool? So that's a little piece of history for you, as far as some of the New Mutants and Cable, and I know Art, like Art was saying, you guys used to hang out a lot, which is pretty damn amazing. Here's something for you guys. This is a piece of image history. This was the very first. Matt Yackey, what up, dude? You're just on time, bro. You missed the drawing of Build, which is this robot being built by some machines. So this thing here was the very first thing that went out to distributors and retailers regarding image. Image Press, starring the biggest stars in comics and featuring these top talents. See that? Look how cool that is. Marat's in that list of people. Image Comics is a new exciting new imprint of color comics featuring creator-owned characters in a unified universe at an affordable price. We got Youngblood. Check that out. There we got Liefeld inking his flagship character. Look at this, Spawn logo. Not too much being said about Spawn, except for this wicked cover, which is the cover of one, but it's the line art, right? It's not the Ken Stacy paint overs, which is kind of cool, right? Wildcats. Look at that logo. Covert Action Teams. That's what Cats. And there we got the first image of Wildcats, 1992. So this is another little piece of art history. Then some of this stuff, like I told you guys, Michael Golden is my favorite artist. So this is some Michael Golden stuff, some photocopies of Michael Golden's work. Nowadays, I would keep a file. A digital file of all this stuff. Here's some Golden on Superman. Someone was asking about some Stephen Platt. I don't know if I'll show the hidden gems today. I may or may not. But this is some Stephen Platt layouts. You can tell this is from Prophet. This might even be no, it's not the Chromium cover, but this is Prophet in Japan, which is pretty neat. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, some more of his sketches. Look at this. See this? So this is a layout for a cover. This is from Platt, right? Following people need to reshoot their photos for the tour book either at 5 p.m. Friday or 5 p.m. Monday. So these are all the people that need to reshoot their photos. I don't know why they had to reshoot. I don't remember that. But this was for the Extreme Tour 94 or 95. There's Panosian, Brian Denham. There's Brian Denham. He was on yesterday. Kurt Hathaway, Stinsman. I mean, these are all. You gotta love the first name ones. Brenda, Liz, and Tanya. They were all amazing colorists. Here's some more splat layouts. See how that says George, whenever you can? That was George, what I was telling you about. What would happen is guys would draw their layouts this size, which is like half of a photocopy. And then George would blow them up to 11 by 17 and on a light box faithfully trace them and give them to the penciler, and then the penciler would work from that. So that was part of the studio process. Here's some more. Who remembers Crypt? Remember Crypt? How cool is Crypt? He's one of those characters. And in fact, I think you want to talk about like being influenced. This particular shot influenced the whole Dragon Ball Mortal Dragon thing that I did in Black Flag 2. Like just the idea of this sort of pose with just insane stuff. You can probably tell I'm a huge Platt fan. Let's see what else is in here. I found some more art to bear. I'll show that in a second. So here's some of my pencils from Kid Supreme when he was having his dream about being naked at school. These are photocopies of those pencils. Photocopies, some of my my terrible scripting that Eric Stevenson would go and fix. And then here's a pencil page out of Wolverine. Now let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into that good stuff. Look at that. We know. Those juicy fades, the bloopy bloops, the bounce, the separation between background and foreground. That is what a master inker does. I mean, just the volume that's defined by going thick to thin to thick means that this is wrapping around this way. This is the peak of the form where the light is hitting here, and then it wraps down and gets heavier there. I mean, it's just brilliant. What is this? Oh, these are I think these are George Perez layouts. Yeah, these are George Perez layouts. Sorry, that was a. We will give you a break of George Perez. Here's some more Whilce Portacio. Oh yeah, Herfy. Audio Odyssey. That was the nickname. Rob used to give crazy nicknames. Here's some more Portacio art to bear. Got a lot of this stuff. First gen copies. And a lot of times they would go around on trade. So here we go, a nice Mike Mignola piece. Here's something. So this is how we would get some stuff. Look at that, Whilce, and I don't know who this is. That doesn't look like Tibert. But look at it, 7/9/1990 from Homage Studios to Liefeld. JL, Jim Lee, WP, Whilce Portacio, SW, Scott Williams. How many people, sorry, there we go, let me move it up, and it's upside down for you, but how many people know who that K is in this? That K is Carl, from Carl Altstetter. Carl was a member of Wildstorm for a very long time, did a lot of work for those guys. Carl's an amazing dude. If you get a chance to check his stuff out, he is on Instagram and YouTube as well. Here is some line art from the Jim Lee trading card set. Very popular set back in 92, 93. So here is that. Got some Joe Madureira from 1994, inked by Dan Green. Some fun stuff. Looking at old Joe Mad from back in the day. Let's see what else is in the stack. This is going to be the longest stream we've had so far, guys. You guys have made me push my limits, but it's Saturday, so what the F, right? J. Scott Campbell pencils from Gen 13. So there's some of that. Some more Gen 13. More Gen 13 layouts. These are some of his layouts with Pitt. Oh, you guys will like this one. Look at that. Boom. Rainmaker, I think that was her name. So we got some of those. And then, of course, my other favorite artist is Arthur Adams. So some of these are copies of covers on a photocopier. This right here is one of my treasures. I'll tell you why this is a treasure for me. This is from the Alien Worlds 3D special, and Arthur Adams' very first, I don't know if you want to call it professional work, because he had done something in a book called Higher Energy before that. But this was only available in 3D, so it was really, really hard to see the artwork from an artist's perspective. It was cool to look at with all the dimension and stuff, but it was really hard to see the juicy details. So I managed through Minions of Minions to get a hold of the actual art and get some copies made. So this is that job, and this is pre-long shot, or in that long shot age. Here's Arthur Adams ink by Bill Sienkiewicz, which is kind of awesome. Let's see what else is in here. More Art Adams, more Art Adams. Oh yeah, now we're getting into, here we got some Chris Sprouse, ink by Al Gordon. Then we're jumping into some photocopies of Todd stuff. Look at that. Some Spawn 1. And this is, I had these for 20 something years, way before the Vault edition, and this is the only way I could really see this stuff in black and white. The things we have to study from. Let's see, what else? What else is in here? Oh, man, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna bypass this Todd stuff. Todd's having a world record day today, so he doesn't need my help. Eric Larson. These are first generation copies of Eric Larson's Punisher job. Here's his layouts for the cover. Here's another layout for cover. And then here are his pencils. These were inked by sorry, brain fart, I was reading your comment. These were inked by Scott Williams. I own a couple of these pages. Some of them I had to sell. I used to own this one. Don't anymore. There's another one where I remember he's like pouring poison or something into the guy's water or something. There, this one. This is the other page. I think I still have this one. Inked by Scott Williams. Here's some more. There's another thing of I photocopied the comic industry. I had to, man. Like somebody had to be the ambassador, right? Like somebody had to do it. So here's Punisher. More Punisher by Eric Larson. This next batch is gonna make you guys happy. This is Adam Hughes' sketchbook. These are pretty darn near first generation copies. Some older, maybe 20 years or so, 1999-ish. Adam Hughes sketches from his sketchbook. These are all of those, and then here's another. You guys want to get into some more happy zones, talking about Mignola. So this is from Mike's sketchbook. A lot of different pencil designs and fun sketches by Mignola. Let's see what else is in here. Some more. Holiday Inn, Jacksonville. Let's see. Some more Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes layouts. More Adam Hughes sketches. And then here's some more fun. Jim Lee breakdowns. A lot of times Jim was going so fast that he was doing breakdowns, and Scott was coming in and like finishing it up, adding some textures and background details and things like that. But these are from Extinction Agenda. Look at that. No background. Gene and Shuttle. Some of these might have been for approvals from Bob Harris. Here it is. Art. I remember seeing this. You inked this page, dude. I know you did. This was you, and this one too. These are the pencils, but I distinctly remember saying to Rob when he showed me these ink pages, I remember thinking, hey yo, these are dope. Like, there was magic. There's a, like I said, I talk about energy in comics and how important energy is, and good drawing's very important and continuity is important, but energy for me is hands down the most important thing, and you guys did it. Some more Jim Lee, more Jim, some more Jim. Look at that. Come on now, come on. Oh, here's some of that unpublished Jim Lee, Punisher, Nick Fury stuff. I think I got these copies from Don Daly's office. Look at this. This is a very famous double-page spread of Captain America whooping on ninjas. These are the pencils. Again, a lot of these are super first gen. Oh, look at this, man. Art. We're get back into some art moments. See, I know, and you could say I'm wrong, but I know that art inked this page. I know it. There's a bounce, a fun energy, and not that Scott doesn't have it, but art, your stuff. There's kineticism, like even just isolating this girl's nose, there's this sort of liveliness to it. So I know this is you. Looking at this, I would say that, let me see Gene's face. This is you. That's you. I'm gonna say this is you too. Yeah, definitely. Like anything that's got that nice bounce to it. I used to own this page. This is one of the pages that I'm really sad for not owning anymore. Really good stuff. The Zipatone, and I always thought Richter was cool. I really like the texture on this girl's hair. You could really get the sense of volume. Well, your Barry Windsor Smith phase, dude, is a very worthy phase, man. Like, that's shit, man. I mean, there's not enough of this in comics anymore. Look at that's a iconic shot. Cable kick in the door, wave in the 444, because that's more than a 4-4. Yeah, this is really just incredible, fantastic stuff. We saw some of the pencils to that. Oh, here's some more classic right here. I think that's if I was to make a metaphor for the difference, that my personal opinion difference between Scott's inks and your inks on Jim would be that they're both imagine scissors, sharp like scissors, but your scissors had springs in them. Yours, like, you're both very sharp, exact, energy filled, but you just had the bounce, man. Like, just this bounciness on it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see what else. That's more Jim, some Rob, and then let's see. I'm gonna check this last stack. Check this very last stack, and that might be the end. Well, that's interesting. I'm missing a stack. I'll have to find that one eventually. All right, guys. So here we are. We have reached near the end of our Couch Doodles Inktober live adventure. Hopefully you guys had a blast. follow each other's YouTube, because I know Art, you make stuff. I know Rooster Puncher makes stuff. If you guys make stuff, tell each other about it. I really want to build a sense of community and get everybody wanting to draw, make stuff, tell stories, share their art, you know, different things like Rooster Puncher. I got to finally meet him in Connecticut, and he introduced me to Peter Samedi, who has Alterna Comics, and those guys just completely blew my mind with their ways of making comics, distributing comics. This sort of, you know, just getting it done and finding pricing margins that work, that make the thing work. And at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? Like I saw this interview with McFarlane for Complex. It's called The Blueprint. And he says all of it is to sustain being able to do art. I definitely want to believe him. I know for me, that's exactly it. I want to be able to continue to ride this art monkey until the wheels fall off, you know? I like drawing, I like creating, and I like sharing it, and I encourage other people to do it. That's my whole thing. So please, awesome. What time, Art? What time? What time? You're inking live on YouTube tomorrow. What time? You let us know. Art, definitely thank you for joining, man. It's really cool seeing old alumni and old pals, even if it's on this weird digital thing. But guys, we this is literally the longest one we've done. Hour and 47 minutes. Incredible. And I changed some things. I used a different camera here because this one needed to have this audio mic punched into it, which means I could put it on the shitty mount because it's a lighter camera than my other one. This one was the same camera as before, but it's on a heavier mount, which allows me to go higher without wobble. So we're learning, man. You have a monster crawling on that mannequin in the background. Do you mean like a bug? Because we get water bugs here, man. 2 p.m. PST. Okay, so that's 5 p.m. here. Lumage. Lamage. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but thank you for the kind words. I will see you guys tomorrow, more than likely, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6 Pacific, 8 Central. I don't remember what the word is. I always look at it when I wake up, and then I marinate on it during the day. But we'll find some more fun stuff to talk about. I have a bunch of the IDW artist editions, so we may end up... Oh, some giant bug. Yeah, dude, we get water bugs. They here in Georgia, that's one of the things we learned about is low gas prices, really low cost of living, wonderful people, gigantic bugs. Like I've seen spiders here that they are of fairy tale in California. All right, man, be good, guys. If you guys have any sort of requests, not drawing requests because I'm sticking to the Inktober list, but any sort of, hey, why don't you talk about perspective? Or, hey, can we take a look at your artist edition collection? Or, hey, break out your favorite comic and talk about it. Pop that shit in the comments, man. Put it in there, and I will do my best to accommodate. All right. It's on the head. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's they call that a Florida water bug. They look a lot like a cockroach. In fact, the guy who used to live here before, every now and then asks, "Hey man, did you get any of my mail, etc." And how you liking it here? And I brought up to him the bugs, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, especially those water bugs." I said, "I don't know this water bug you're talking about, but there's some giant roaches. And he said, oh yeah, these aren't roaches. Anyhow, peace out. I'm going to go party with my friend. I think his name is Beetlejuice. Say that 2 more times and what's going to happen? All right, see you guys soon. Thanks a lot. You are out.